Hey guys, Plushy-Plays here, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Or should I say, welcome to the bonus video for Link to the Past. Last time we we stormed through Ganon's tower and had a heck of a time fighting Ganon himself. However, we prevailed, and the Dark World is no longer. This time we're going to be going over the fun facts and secrets that A Link to the Past has for us. As apparently that's going to just do its thing. First, we're going to go over the unused content and the lovely version differences. Starting out with the title, actually. According to Melee Waluigi over on VG Facts, the title in the Japanese version is actually called The Legend of Zelda Triforce of Gods, which, of course, had to be changed due to religious reasons. I can understand why they had to change the title, but the weird thing is, in the manual for the Western manual, it talks all about different gods and all of that and religious stuff. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I can understand why they had to change the title. But the other stuff, that's beyond me. Speaking of the Western releases instruction manual, according to Ganondorf's actual full name is known as Ganondorf Dragmire, while Ganon is addressed by the alias Mandrag Ganon, which stands for Ganon of the Enchanted Thieves. This was apparently the result of Nintendo America's translation team wanting to make their own contribution to the story. However, none of these names do not actually appear anywhere in any of the games in the series. I honestly had no idea he actually had a full name until I started actually doing my research for this bonus video in this entire series. I think it's kind of interesting that it gives us a little bit more about Ganon himself. Considering there isn't really a whole lot of information about Ganon that we are aware of, or at least not that I'm aware of. Let's get past the title screen now. Let's get out of there. In the NES, goodness, I cannot talk today. In the SNES version of A Link to the Past, there's actually a secret room that, well, many people know about, called the I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong here, Houlihan room, and this room is not accessible via normal means. This room contains 225 rupees and a telepathy tile. It basically says his name and that this room is his secret room, and to keep it between the player and him. This room was as a result of Chris winning a Nintendo Power Contest and was promised an appearance in a Zelda game, which I think is really cool, considering they don't do that anymore, that I'm aware of anyways. Yeah, it's a neat concept, neat idea. Unfortunately, there's not really many ways to get into this room that I'm aware of anyways. But apparently the room is actually it's an error handler, and it's if the player falls down a hole but the game can't seem to find a proper destination to place you, it just places you in this room. Let's see. From Did You Know Gaming, Link to the Past was actually planned to have a party system, where you could actually swap between 3 characters and utilize their individual abilities. The characters would have been a mix between an elfin fighter, which I'm assuming would have been Link, a magic user, and a girl, which I'm gonna probably assume was Zelda, but maybe they had another idea in mind for her. Who knows? Because I have no idea. I think it would have been a really neat concept having 2 other characters to control aside from Link. Considering that most of the Zelda games don't really have other playable characters aside from, like, maybe a select few that I can't really think of at the moment, but it's, again, a neat concept. Not sure how it would have worked, but the concept is an idea. It's a neat idea. Very interesting. Interesting idea. Also from them, there's actually concept art for Link to the Past, which shows Zelda in a futuristic attire, as the original Legend of Zelda was planned to be set in both the past and future. This art could be an indication that Nintendo considered reusing this concept for Link to the Past, which, would make sense considering, the title. There isn't really any references to the past, unless the Dark World is a reference to the past, and I had no idea this whole time. I guess I could see it, but if anyone knows about that, please let me know. I'm very curious. I love learning video game knowledge and fun facts. That's why I'm doing these videos. I love sharing different kinds of knowledge with other gamers, and, making these videos are fun for me. Anyways, going on to the next thing, there's actually several unused concepts in here. According to Daz over on VG Facts, there's an unused item called the Letter, which occupies the same inventory space as the Magic Mirror. It uses the same sprite as the dungeon maps, surprisingly enough, and it's similar to the Letter item from the original Legend of Zelda game. I do wonder what that letter would have been for. Like, would it have been like a, what's it called? Like, in, Link's Awakening, where you, gave one character one thing, and then the next character that thing you got before. Yeah, I think that would have been what that was for, but I'm honestly not too sure. It would have been interesting, to say the least. I know I'm saying interesting a lot, but a lot of these are really neat. Gosh darn it, why couldn't have they used this? I guess it would have been a little bit too much for an SNES title, but who knows, maybe in the future. Speaking of unused enemy stuff, there's an unused enemy soldier with a cannon that's actually fully programmed within the game with full AI graphics and animations. Goodness. However, this enemy was never used. Looking at the enemy itself, I think it would have been a neat concept, another enemy soldier. But I guess they already had several as is and just didn't want to throw in another one. Which I can understand that. Don't want too many enemies in one game, especially for an SNES title. And according to the Zelda wiki, there's actually a functioning 1/4 magic upgrade coded into the game but never implemented. I guess there's a half magic which works pretty well. So I guess they just didn't think the 1/4. Either they just decided not to use it because of how well the half magic upgrade works, or they just never thought to use it in the first place. Who knows? On to the other stuff. There's actually, there are glitches that can be used in certain places that allow the player to break through walls, which makes it possible to beat the entire game in under 3 minutes. Basically, as soon as you leave your house, there's a series of steps to make your way to the final room of the game and beat it within under 3 minutes. I'll be sure to leave a link to that or put it in here, whichever one I can think You know those invisible enemies in the Misery Mire dungeon that I could not find at all, and they just kept attacking? Yeah, those are, according to Cosmic the Dolphin over on VG Facts, they're known as, I believe I'm saying this right, Ku, K-U. Some of these can actually be seen in the Swamp of Evil. The ones that do properly load are placed in the deep waters of the swamp, while the invisible ones are in shallow water. It's most likely these enemies are only programmed to function in deep water, and these enemies are either misplaced or the terrain was definitely was much different during development. Which I guess I could see that being the case, because things change during development. That not everything's gonna be the same, and maybe the enemies are misplaced and they're just like not functioning properly. Again, it's not sure on that one. On to the next. If the player has the fire shield, the one that lets you bounce fire off your shield, and the ether medallion, Link can actually obtain a quote-unquote ice shield, which changes the red color palette on the shield to a blue color palette that replaces the red shield's color. And in order to do this, Link must use the ether medallion to kill one of those picket enemies, and then pick up the shield, which will then be blue. Using the ether medallion again will turn the shield back to normal. In the northwest part of Kakariko Village, I've actually tried to do this before, but for some reason I just could not find the right house for this. There's a house on the northwest part of Kakariko Village. There's a cuckoo which can be found under one of the pots. The player can sprinkle magic powder on the cuckoo, which transforms into a woman. She then explains that she is the one responsible for sending the cuckoos to attack Link, as she is the one watching through the weather thing. She also tells the player that the human form is uncomfortable for her. Well, that's something. And apparently, after Link is, after Ganon is defeated, it's actually possible for the player to fall down the pits surrounding the arena, after the stairs appear, and it resets the entire boss fight, and you have to restart the fight over from the beginning as if you fell during the fight, or died during the fight, which I'd be a little upset by that, because one, I'm sure someone has attempted it after a long fight with Ganon, or they accidentally fell on the way up and they were highly upset, which I would be, considering it took me forever to actually fight Ganon, even with backing up. I know I could have used a fairy during the fight, but I didn't think to jump down and grab a fairy, because I wasn't thinking about it. It was late at night. I was getting tired and frustrated, so I just wanted to defeat Ganon once and for all. So yeah, that's a little, yeah, not good on my end, but oh well. Oops. In the Game Boy Advance version of A Link to the Past, there's actually an extra dungeon on the right side of the pyramid called the Palace of Four Sword. You can fight the first 4 bosses from the Dark World in this extra dungeon, but it only appears after beating the game in 4 swords, which I don't have. Well, I do have the GBA version of it, I just haven't done that. I have thought about it, because I do have the Game Boy Advance version of this game that I probably should finish at some point, but I just haven't gotten to it. And so the original person can have it back. I will get to it. It'll probably be for a while, but unfortunately there's no way for me to record it as I don't have a way to record it. I only have a way to record this for right now. But who knows, maybe in the future I'll be able to record it. That's, well, just the one dungeon. Just to at least get it on there and add it to the Let's Play. I think that's everything that I have here written in my notes. If you guys have anything else to add, please feel free to add it in the comments. I may even go back to this video and edit them in here. Because like I said, I enjoy reading through your comments and reading the facts and fun little things you like to add to the game. It's fun. And, well, thank you for joining me for The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I will see you all in the next Let's Play. Goodbye for now.